You got to be lucky. I've had a rattle in the front here yesterday and today, pretty bad. Now, I'll show you why. One of these doesn't look like the other one. The rattle always went away under braking. Yeah, a bit of weight on here. So, we got to find me a nut. I mean a bolt. I've never undone these. So when I pull these off, I undo them from the back here. This big one, and I take this whole bracket off. And what that allows me to do is clean up all this inside here and re-grease the slides. So I never would have undone this, ever, in the whole time I've had this vehicle. So yeah, I'll be pulling the other side off tonight and having a look. Yeah, it's as easy as pulling the wheel off and, you know, having a check. I've got some new second-hand brake calipers somewhere. I might just fucking bolt out of there. Much nicer, you know, and I checked the top one. I've always thought, you know, a lot of noise was coming from these slides anyway. How do I hold it still and show you without rocking myself? You know, like these slides are pretty worn out. So I've just, the new second-hand low kilometre calipers I've got, I just robbed that bolt out of them, so the thread wasn't damaged. So yeah, that was lucky. So this year I'll make it a point of going over this a bit more. I mean, I've had this thing for 12, 13 years, so it doesn't really make a big deal. It's taken that long for that to vibrate out. But yeah, I might give it a birthday present this year. I mean, I've got good brake pads in it. They're really thick. They're not that old. They are second hand, but they're not that old. I mean, they are probably 2 years old. But out here, that's a lot of kilometres. So yes, we narrowly avoided having a foobar. So yes, fucked up beyond recognition. Anyway, I'm going to put this wheel back on with one hand and a foot. And happy days. Bloody check the other side, because it takes 5 minutes to rip this wheel off with these new rattle guns. So yeah, lucky. And then the next video I'll probably upload will be what we did with the Patrol, problems we've got now with the Patrol. And we're sitting here working on the nav because I'm back at work now. We've been to Rosebud in Melbourne and come back with the Patrol and the Viscount, however they want to say it, caravan, the Royal Sea that we've got, 1975 caravan, and the 89G Q Y60 Patrol. So yeah, so I'm just back here with the daily. So we've done 2,000 Ks with that Patrol anyway, so we'll do a video when that gets home. It's out delivering horse feed. So yeah, rightio, out for now. That wheel checked out alright, except for the worn tie rod end. The outer tie rod end's a bit dodgy. However, yeah, I'm cleaning up our painting mess. I've made heaps of room in here. This tractor's going to end up over there. However, up there is a brand new drag link, and also the old front end tie rod to tie rod, and I think it was actually the tie rods were okay, so they're still in spec, and so was the Pitnam arm. It's the one that goes to the box off of that drag link, that old drag link. That was the one that had wear in it because it was never greasable from factory. So I'll probably just get away with putting a second-hand tie rod on, and it'd be happy days. So yeah, I won't do that today though. That's a weekend job. So yeah, the Ferguson's going to get backed in over here. I just got to keep cleaning up. I've got tools everywhere. It was a mad panic to get the patrol done. So yeah, and this old girl's just got a clean bill of health. So yeah, cleaned up all under there. I have all these Datsun parts yet to go through. In the back of that 720 there's full of Datsun, Fiat, I don't know, Morris parts. I got a brand new PBR Holden clutch I found here. So that'd be Holden VB 6-cylinder, brand new in box. I've kind of, who wants to see a bloody 40-year-old brand new part, 40, 50-year-old brand new part? So there you go. I just dropped a manual off to one of my mates. He doesn't even know that he's getting it. Manual, parts book, parts catalogue for a 510. So I don't need it, and they're getting damaged just sitting around. Well, I mean, these were damaged, but they're not going to get any better. If somebody else wants to take them and have a look at them, like this is a Homer one, obviously, T20 series. There's some Bluebird stuff underneath it though. I won't get rid of, but yeah, look at this Datsun Pulsar sedan hatch N12. We've actually got an N12 Pulsar just down in the other shed. I need a fuel pump, and it was due for a timing belt when it was parked, so yeah, you could do with a few bits and pieces. So yeah, no, I won't be getting rid of that book because we've actually got that car in stock. And then Bluebird, as a lot of the long time viewers will know, I cut my teeth in the Series 3s. They were misunderstood, mistreated, unliked by the majority. Said to be a piece of shit because of the engine, but the engine was actually quite good. I think, yeah, considering they made a 1.8 version of the 2 litre that was in the Series 3 into a turbocharged engine for like the early 180 SXs and things like that. It's the same engine, just bigger bore and stroke capacity. So yeah, there's a couple of books getting around here, parts catalogues, guides, Nissan genuine parts. This is a Nissan Bluebird one. I don't know whether... Oh, that's a Series 3 one as well. See, yeah, March 85. So the Series 1 and 2 ran from, I think the first one ever built was 79. Released here in Australia in the 80s, 1980. Series 1 ran through to 82 or 83. And then the Series 2 took over, and they sort of overlapped each other right up until 84. Halfway through 84, the Series 3 started coming out into 85, real early GLs and stuff like that. They had GXE Ultras, and yeah, so that's actually the wrong engine for that car. This has got a cam-chained L20 engine in it. In this book, that's what it's showing me here. But the picture actually showing a cam-chained L20B. Maybe this is the overlap, because they had the CA20 in them, which obviously was the same in the R31 Pentara. It had a timing belt. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with either engine. They both got their pluses and minuses. The little CA20 is a little bit lighter. It's got an 88mm stroke, so it's torquey as hell. With a 84.5mm bore. Yeah, same ratio gearbox, different bell housing. Same ratio diffs, you know, depending on if it's wagon, stand, TRX, so sports variant type thing. GXE Ultras had power windows and shit. See, that's showing the old L20B. Yeah, sure is. So yeah, you know, we can go look at my mum's old Series 3 over here, and here's my old Series 1, which is rusted away. This has got the L20B in it with a L18, A81, A87 kidney shaped head on it. Oh, it's got some issues. Had too high a compression ratio and I busted a head gasket. But I used to flog the absolute pisser out of these. This one here, I really want to salvage this one. I mean, it's been out in the sun for so long. The interior's even getting bad, but here's your CA20. Dual ignition. With these, it runs spark on both sides all the time. In something like the R31 Pintara, it cuts out the exhaust side above 3000 RPM. So the Pintaras were obviously fuel injected. These are carbied. There is actually a slight difference in the head. It's negligible, and I actually think you can probably use just about any inlet valve if you recut the seat yourself or even lap it. But the valve's actually a millimetre bigger on the inlet on the carbide engine, so on the CA20S and CA20 without any signification on the end, which probably came out in some of your Homers and stuff like that. So yeah, not much else I can really tell you about it, except for the fact that, yeah, if you recut those valves, I bet you could use them if you had no other choice. That, you know, she's getting a bit rough. You know, she's been outside for a long time. Oh hell! Every day I look at it, it gets worse. You know, yeah, it wouldn't take much. You know, the fuel tank needs to come out. The interior's fucked from the water from these windows leaking. But it's nearly a full fucking respray. The window's probably going to have to come out. It's almost the end of its life, I think. Or maybe a donor car for, you know, another one. Yeah, anyway. R31 Skyline there, 6-cylinder obviously. 720. Would have had bumperettes, or plastic bumper corners. So pre-85, so 84, it's 85. Got chrome bumper through and through. So even that's getting rough. I'm trying to decide whether to actually fix any of these or just part them out. So yeah, this one's actually sold. I'm just going to clean it out and they can have it with what wheels it's got on it, and a couple of old stockies. You know, boot rusted out on this one. I left it parked in the shed thinking one day I'll come back to fix it. 8 years later I come back to it. The front hadn't got any worse because I'd always had plans of pulling the windscreen out and fixing the windscreen up because it was all rusty here. I was going to cut another one out of a car that had been smacked in the front and fix this. So I parked it in the shed forwards so the water wouldn't keep getting in here. Only for the pine needles in those years gone by to fill up that. Push the boot lid up, fill the boot with water. When I opened it and brought it home, it actually drove onto the trailer. It was wheel well, and the little sides down here were level with water You know, I opened the boot and all I seen was water floating in here. I'm just like, oh no. And as I opened the boot, you know, like, I seen there was more needles around here than this. It's been blown off, you know, like, there was the bung was removed down there, but it had blocked up with the tyre sitting in here, and the needles that just filled up and just fucked out this panel, you know. So, and I don't really like the idea, you know. I've probably got enough cars I could cut this back to here, stitch another back end on, and stitch a front end on, like stitch this part up. The rest of the car's actually still good, but it's not going to happen. So here's the finished result, which is not finished, but it'll do for now. Can't really get a good picture. Well, maybe I can. It's dirty. So this is the 89 GQ Y60. Well, it's a Y60. Australia's the only country that uses these bloody GQ, GU thingies. So yeah, they're just Y60s of a said year. Then they go Y61, Y62 as a V8. It's obviously been wet. Tamara's been somewhere in the mud, probably today or yesterday. So, not sure what rims it would have come with. Maybe Sunraysers. They're off of a GQ. A GU. I reckon about 2000 to 2004, those rims. Yeah, they need to be repainted. We did not have time to do them. All this roof was rusty. It's all been welded up properly. My brother did that, and he bogged it. He was really the mastermind behind this. I mean, he painted it too. I just helped, like, block back things and learnt a lot of stuff, because I'm not the I'm the mechanical guy. I'm not really the don't really have the eyes to get this sort of stuff right, but we did a good enough job. That's just dirt. That's not, yeah. So we got new windows. It had sliding windows in the back because it's actually got a third row seat. So it's actually a 7-seater, hence the seat belt you can see over there by the fridge. So the window frames were absolutely shot, and this is a common problem. The metal goes rusty, and also the metal around it rusts. So I think I found a set on eBay for like $1,400. I reckon that was only one side, and using my old glass, which is nothing wrong with the glass, but you know, like, yeah, so like $2,400 for 2 frames, and you know, weeks to get them here. It's like, nah. So we found a kit that they make. Can't remember who makes it. We got it from Patrol Parts off of eBay. Solid windows, because we're never going to put the 7 seats back in here. And if you do, you probably got to remove that cargo barrier anyway. So yeah, we've got to finish. So this is straight off the gun. There's no pinstripe put on yet. There's a couple of runs in the paint, but you know, it looks really, really good when it's clean. I blacked these out with satin black. They were grey, the stone guard and the flares. I bought another mud flap for the other side. That was $138 for one mud flap because of the flare, because it's the wide one. These are going to come off so that we can paint all this sill panel under here. We're just going to black that out, so that'll continue on black. This is new T-shaped flare, similar to what you use on the Toyotas. It's actually better shape, I think. It doesn't look like it's going to trap a lot of the crap in between, like the original stuff did, which obviously was hard and brittle. So for those that don't know, the American guys and Canadian guys that don't get Nissan Patrols over there, don't believe this odometer. It's actually out by 300,000 Ks. It's actually done about 730,000 I worked out between myself and the previous owner. From when the odometer stopped on him, now it has worked all of our trip. So we've done 2,000 odd Ks from South Australia to Melbourne and back with it. Obviously all the kids' seats are in here and whatnot. I've got some dome light covers. Well, I've got one off of an N13 Pulsar in my Datsun parts that one of my deceased friends left me some years ago, which I found yesterday cleaning up because we just had to shut the doors and just leave to go to this party, and this thing pulled the caravan 2,000 Ks, so yeah, I've got more to tell you about it anyway. So obviously high-low, full drive, plus a neutral position and 5-speed manual. 4-door speakers, well, front doors and very back doors have got speakers in them. There's nothing in the back middle row here, but that is something like 6 speaker options were done in later vehicles. Air conditioning, but the evaporator is full of probably wood chips because it used to pull around 3.5 and 5 ton. 5 ton? No, not 5 ton. I think the truck had that. But a 3.5 ton and a 1.5 ton chipper. I know it had a Meteor on it and a few other things, and one of the Vemiras. And so it was constantly getting covered in wood chips. So I believe these don't have a filter. It's only the later ones that have a filter between the fresh air and the evaporator. So you can cut it out and put one in out of the later ones on some of these. So I'm yet to delve into that. This is a new aerial, which is actually a generic aerial. Mind you, it's still about $54. But that fits your Toyota Hiluxes, Holden Rodeos, these, anything with a round hole here and kind of a bit of a overlap to the side. Yeah. This Kadonk, I can't remember the horsepower figures, but it's nearly as good as it's not quite, hasn't quite got the torque figures of a 3208 cat motor, but it's only 100 horsepower difference or something, so it's not worth the engine conversion. 100 horsepower? It's 80 horsepower difference or something. So yeah, you'd only put one of those in if you didn't have another option. So this is the petrol, obviously, and it's got, you know, ignition there and coils. Ignition there, coil over there. So this is the TB 4.2 litre. Now they make a TD 4.2 litre, which is obviously the diesel version, which we've had several amongst our friends and family over the last 40 years. Blocks are basically the same. Some of the earlier blocks have even got blank out plates from where the diesel pumps used to go and stuff like that. And they just basically have different head, different crank rods and pistons. Like, you know, they just would have just mass produced the block and yeah, happy days. Fitted out for a petrol or a diesel. 12 volt alternator. The MQs were, some of those were with SD 33s. That's another diesel engine that they had. Some of those, I had one of those years ago that was 24 volt, and that was an absolute machine. It was an absolute weapon. But it suffered from fuel efficiency problems because, I mean, I only had a 4-speed. These things over the years, from the Y60s through to the Y62s, obviously you got your TD, TB 42. They make a TB 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. 49. So yeah, 4.9 litre as well, which these also shared in the industrial side of things, so you get a lot of these in forklifts and stuff, especially around the 16 to or 8 to 16 tonne forklift range as well. That's why I call bullshit when people say you can't get engines. I reckon you just need to go to a fucking forklift dealer and either buy a new engine or look for a forklift wrecker and find a TD or whatever you need. They've had SD33s in them, RD, no, I'm thinking here off the cuff, LD, yeah, LD28s and RB30s in them. I don't know if I've forgotten any other engine configurations. These are all standard from factory in different models. So you're down as small as a 2.8 litre diesel and a 3 litre inline 6-cylinder petrol as well. The 2.8 litre diesel is also 6-cylinder. Just trying to think what else. Air conditioning wasn't standard. It was always an option. Trying to think what else. Snorkels were options. This has got no snorkel, but what it does have is basically a centrifugal type system here. It's supposed to swell the air and the heavy particles fall out. And yeah, carried away and into the air cleaner. Oh, pardon me. So yeah, they come up with other options too. Yeah, like this has got window winders. You know, no central locking, obviously, as things progressed. Your TIs and your sports trucks, your STs, they had power windows and cruise control and stuff like that. Depending on the model, because you'll see a lot of them, they have ST here, a sports truck, and also differentials will change. You know, like sometimes they'll have limited slip diffs and things like that. This has one. So ST or TI here. TIs are like the upmarket models that have all the electrics and sunroofs and other options. What are you doing out here, Hugo? Oh, well, I'm just making a YouTube video. Do you want to be in it? No. Oh, well. So, yeah. We can't get the tongue out. We didn't even try. Haha, you're in it. Hugo, you're in it. You're in the video. Say hi to everybody. Wave. Wave. Anyway. So, yeah. Believe it or not, that's the new mud flap, and it doesn't even look black. I mean, it is black, but it's not quite matching to that satin black, and I should have probably painted the other three that it had on it. So you can imagine that to buy two wide ones would probably be close to $280 fucking dollars. God only knows what the front ones would be worth. So it is what it is. One day I'll find a matching rim. This was white. I just quickly blacked it out with a rattle can, make it less noticeable, matching a bit nicer. What are you doing with that, Hugo?
Being crazy.
Being crazy, yeah. These were grey. We blacked them out, obviously. The mirrors were always black. So, yeah. Didn't touch any of them. But we had really shit tow mirrors. These aren't very... Well, later models have mirrors in here. And you can get some nice pull-out tow mirrors. These aren't real strong. So, you know, like, you set them up, you push them past where you want them, and then the wind turns them back in anyway. So you're forever fighting with them. Hugo's just gone up the road for a run. We'll get him on video. That's a scrub there. Throw that over the fence. Yeah, I don't care if it hits anything. Just lob it over. Oof, that was a car. Never mind. It's only a wrecked car. You gonna go for another run? He's 6 now. For those that know, they know. And her other child, Evie, is 4. Come on, no time to look at the ants. Yeah, there's possums been digging. Yeah, it's a possum hole. It's been digging for bugs or something. You gonna come for a run? Yeah, I know. Neighbours have been up and down with the horses. That's a horse poo. Yeah, we got possums out here in the scrub. So, yeah. You see them every now and again. I just shine a light across, have a look. You know, torch across or whatever. That we can't do nothing with that. That's such a fire risk, but we can't do anything with it. The only thing the power line companies can do is take these trees off. You know, and if you look down there, that tree on the corner overlaps the road. These are all encroaching the road, so when I come to pull in, I actually clip that tree with the mirror of my ute. I drive right up there. I just get that all nice and flat coming in both ways, and then the council come and grade it, make the fucking thing high again. Anyway, I'm not complaining, it just, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. And today I worked on that, you'll see that earlier in this video. I've got a bit of wear and a tie rod on, outer tie rod on here, so I'll have to do that. Because I did pull this wheel off and check it, seeing as that other brake component, other bolt fell out. So yeah. What are you doing up there? Don't bend my UHF aerial. Don't flick yourself in the face with it. It'll hurt. So yeah, that's the patrol.
Dad, why have we got...
And so this is our 1975, yeah, Viscount, Viscount, depends on who you talk to. I don't know, Royal Sea. So we spent some time working on this. It is probably $600 worth of caravan that we got here. We did a deal to get it, and we got it, and it's, yeah, it's pretty old and it's got some war wounds, but it's certainly done its job. I managed to find all the original wiring because some of it slipped down inside, and get all the lights to work. I might upgrade in the future to LED, the number plate lights LED. So yeah, we put a new socket on. We put a new, I had to put wood behind it for the tank, and there's a new tank underneath. New tyres, I checked the bearings and the brakes, they were like brand new. We put reflectors on because it never had reflectors. New clearance lights. Fixed up the gas line. The fridge works on gas. The stove was leaking, so it's switched off and the stove's been removed. But we are going to put an oven in it eventually, probably after New Year's. Welded a jockey wheel on there, and I tell you what, with all the galv in the frame that I couldn't grind out, with all the galv in the jockey wheel bracket, it did not look pretty, so I grinded it and made it look pretty, but it's not coming off. That jumper's just there because I used the nylon to wind the legs down with the drill. It had a flesh wound in the front, so that's why it's been silicone and covered. You know, first caravan, what do you do? Like, it's certainly going to do its job, and we don't owe anybody copious amounts of money. Like, there's a aerial plug there for the external TV aerial. I'll get in there. So yeah, we had to replace a few things. Obviously, new latches and door hinges and things. We're still looking for a dome light to cover it, an oyster light. It's got the 12 volt globe in there, and I've got to get a new fitting, but there's supposed to be a 240 volt globe in there. Tamara went and fixed the window, broke a window. Here we go. She went and broke a window. Can't remember how she did it. Trying to fix these things. And got some new corners for all these windows, but we've got to get some more. She's fixed this one, and Cameron cut a new window because Tamara broke this one before we left when we were fixing it up. She made new curtains, and then the window slipped down in this old one here. This has got the old rubbers. We never touched this window, and was touching the latches inside. And in the process of trying to get it up to latch the window, it cracked. And then I got it shut, and I turned around, and it cracked the rest of the way, so I just taped it. Shit happens. It's $100 for a piece of glass. And the fella that we're going to give the money to do it, it's a mate of mine I've known for like 20 years. 20 years? 25 years? I still get confused. Hence all the labels. 12 volt and 240. We didn't even get time to get 12 volt from the Patrol into the plug so that we had 12 volt. But it does work on my ute, because that has 12 volt to the tray and to the plug in the right spot. Tamara shortened one of the cot mattresses. She unstitched it, cut a row of springs off, closed it back over and restitched it. And then we got another new one for there. So we thought we'd start by destroying the old one. And yeah, happy days. The fridge works, and it's all showing its age. All the drawers work. Typical latches are knackered, so the lucky bands around there. But yeah, some of these latches are a bit sad. Even this one jams up. But yeah, it all did its job, I tell you. I put a new hand pump in. It doesn't take that long to get a sink full of water. And with a new tank, I'd put rainwater in it so that we can drink it. Tamara did obviously a lot of this because I was working on the Patrol and other things. She put new wood in there. Obviously did that in 2 pieces. That's pine. The back was done in a couple of pieces. So it still needs some work. There's some paint that wants to be scraped off up here. I noticed every time we shifted. Where's that light switch? Yeah, every time we shifted, we'd come back and it's done that. It's flaked off of the roof. And there's another spot that we didn't even consider under this part, because this was all wood rotted from having 50 years of bloody work. Queen mattress, friend gave us that. Yeah, all the roof vents work and things like that, but they just need a bit of TLC. But yeah, no, it certainly did its job. The only thing I could suggest doing to it is, putting an air conditioner in it. That's where the stove normally goes.
Yeah, put the stove in there. It doesn't want to go up because of the thingy.
Oh, there we go. And that's loose too.
Yeah. I noticed that.
So you pull that, squeeze that. That rolls down for when you've got your, what do you call that? Oh, the tray in the front of the stove that pulls out. The grill. That's the gas line. It's actually unhooked. I just left it in there because I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet. Or whether I'm going to go all new stuff. But if I go new stuff, it'll be rubber. Whereas that's obviously copper pipe. Copper pipe's forever. You know what I mean? Oops. So yeah. Oh, that must have went the wrong way. There we go. So yeah, one thing I've noticed is that's just, I don't know what that's called. I can't remember. I might put a piece of aluminium on the bottom here, just in case anything does fucking catch fire. My uncle had a caravan and motorhome type thing, and the only thing that stopped him burning, because he had a an RC helicopter charging on this side was the fact that there was aluminium underneath it. But yeah, glass, and that would have been for the table, that little square thing the table would have pegged into there. But yeah, it's actually quite warm in here because I've got only a few windows open, like that little one and the roof vents and the door. But yeah, light shades are all, like the covers are all missing. But you know what, I do not care. It's somewhere to sleep. There would have been, between here and there is a curtain, which we didn't have, so...
I know there was a curtain there.
You know, it was a curtain there? Yeah, it was meant to be. I reckon it would have been a Venetian type thing, but yeah.
Mummy told me.
Probably could just make one and hang it.
Yeah.
Like, hang it like a shower curtain off of those things.
Oh,
They're actually a bit thin, those curtains. You can see through them. So that's not real private, but,
yeah.
you know.
You can actually see them. And Dad,
Took plenty of water with. Yes, here we go.
I was thinking where the cannon bottle bin would be under here.
Nah. Come on, Hugo, we're going to go out. So yeah, no, total right. But yeah, fridge still works, freezer works, steps all fold up, doors all shut, lights all work. It's somewhere to sleep when you're away from home. What more do you want? You know, padlock. Obviously, just for travelling, this is just a matter of safety, so the door doesn't flick open in the wind. You know, because you can imagine he probably could pull on this enough it would come open. So it just for peace of mind, it can't come open whilst you're driving and snap the door off or anything stupid. Obviously that's the latchet open. Oh yeah, we put a new lock in here and in the side for the gas. I'll show you that in a minute. So obviously you can open that up with new fly screen, so that can be your screen door. And that latches back permanently and still allows you to use this other door around it. So yeah, the Australians will know, but I don't know if all the Canadian stuff is the same, like, yeah, I don't know, or American stuff. So yeah, obviously new lock in here, and then you've got a gas pipe that goes in here. You can turn the fridge power off and then turn the gas on, and then you can actually light it from the back here if you're articulated enough, or you can light it from inside. There's a little valve you hold up and light the pilot light, and then yeah, once it's hot you can let go of the, I call it the primer, because once it's hot it'll stay on, and then it just, you set the temperature inside and it dictates how hot the pilot light gets and how cold the fridge works. So yeah, and that's all the venting. That had all beehive and stuff in it. I cleaned all that out. I got that really clean, you'd be surprised. Like, yeah. So the jobs to do on this still is, there is a list. I'm going to start with the simple shit. Like, I never had time to balance the wheels. Most people don't balance caravan wheels or trailer wheels, but you know, if you care about your stuff, trailers not so much, I'm not so much worried about. But you know, like every little bit of vibration you can get out of something's got to stop something else from wearing out. So that's the idea behind it. The brakes work, they fucking work really well. Yeah, and I've got to make a tool for the drill because I damaged my drill truck winding the rear legs up and down. But yeah, it's all sturdy, it's all aluminium, it's all pop riveted. There's not much else to tell you. It's got a couple of dings, you know, like it's had a long life. But there's a new water tank under there, which we were lucky we didn't wipe out on a kangaroo. Truck in front of me hit it. Puts his hazards on because he's a good truck driver. He was a road train. And then I didn't even think about it. I sort of just flicked me bloody lights on high beam just as I seen it coming into the view, and there was nowhere we could put it other than straddle it, and it missed the tank. It come down just this side and hit the exhaust on the full drive and didn't do any damage. Just, you know, it could have if it was a small sedan or something. You would have wrapped the kangaroo up underneath. But yeah, you know, oh no, don't worry, it was dead. it was well dead. Like it just been hit at 100 k's an hour by, well, 90 k's an hour by a road train. So, you know, road train would be double. I think it was actually a road train. So yeah, you know, no spare wheel. I've got a 13-inch spare wheel off of a trailer that we took with. And these are 14s, so I've got to find another rim. I wouldn't mind painting these rims and just tidying them up. Yeah, this is our spare wheel for it. It's like Holden HT stud pattern or something. It's some weird pattern. Well, the pattern's not weird, but this centre size is small. And yeah, your normal Holden pattern won't fit. So I'm not quite sure. But anyway. So yeah, I don't know what else to do to it just yet. I mean, we have pressure washed it. It's still got stuff on it. I've scrubbed it and scrubbed it and scrubbed it, and I've filled screw holes with silicone. Yeah, silicone parts on it that, you know, just to try and keep the water out. So I'll probably have to still do more. But I might take it to work in the next coming, I don't know, fortnight, 3 weeks, and actually pressure wash it there, because their pressure washer is a lot better than mine. So yeah, I might just put it behind the nav and take it to work. Because yeah, the Patrol unfortunately has done a head gasket at 730 odd thousand, I reckon. It might have actually even been underestimate. It might actually have done more, and that engine's never been out, so it's $100 for a head gasket and a bit of machine work. And I want to put new water hoses on it, so there's another $100 of silicone hoses. So, you know, all in good time, because the missus wants to buy her nieces and nephews all presents and stuff. So, because it's coming up that time of year again. So yeah, you've heard me ramble on long enough. It is what it is. Keeps the rain off when you go out. That's all it needs to do. But like, it's not perfect, but you know, they say imperfection these days is perfection.